Hi everybody, my name is Executor and tonight we will be learning about the Linux file system or the Kali Linux file system for that matter. I have put up a PowerPoint presentation to help give you guys a good visual of all the terms and concepts we will be learning, and I'll also be using the Kali Linux virtual machine to help demonstrate every term to make it clear for you guys. Without further ado, let's get started. So in order to learn about the Linux file system, you pretty much have to think of an upside down tree where you have the root on top, and then at the bottom you have all the branches, and some branches lead to smaller branches, pretty much. So the first directory we're going to learn about is the /bin, which stands for binaries. So pretty much it's the binaries directory. And this directory holds some of the basic commands that we use, like ls, cd, sudo, and we also have change ownership or change mode, change group, login, make dir, remove a file. All those standard commands are in this folder. So the next one is going to be the /sbin directory, which stands for system binaries. And as you can see, this directory contains binary files that serve as administrative commands. And you have the fdisk. And we also have the fastboot, and we have the ifconfig command that we use to get network interface details, IP address details, and all that good stuff. We also have the reboot command, update, and a lot more in this directory. The next is going to be the /boot or bootloader, if you want. And this folder contains the Linux bootloader files. We also have the kernel information in this directory, the grub, model.info, and a few more. So the next one is going to be the /dev or devices, pretty much. So this folder contains the device configuration files, such as the dev null. And the dev null is frequently used for people who, it's used by people who create VPNs and do not want to store logging information of internet activities. So they usually point the logging information to this path /dev/null so that nobody can have access to logs. So once you point your logging information to this, you pretty much have no logs because it just goes to nothing. So the next directory will be the /sys or system. And as you can see, this is similar to the /dev, which contains configurations about devices and drivers, such as your printer drivers and video game drivers, and a lot more drivers that you may use in your Linux machine. Their configurations files will be stored in this directory. So the next one is going to be /etc. The etc directory is highly used by certified ethical hackers, because the most important document that they have there is the etc/passwd that shows the system users, and it's their favorite. So pretty much every user of the machine will be stored right here. So after the /etc, we have the /lib for libraries, and this is very straightforward. It just contains the shared libraries for the binaries inside the /bin and /sbin. Very simple. The next one is going to be the /proc or processes. And this directory holds the processes and kernel information files. Very simple. So a command that usually shows you all the processes is the the ps command will display all the processes running in your Linux system. So the next is going to be the slash lost and found, and that's very straightforward. So this directory contains all the files that have been recovered, whether it's during a crash or your machine had a malfunction or you deleted files and recovered and performed a recovery activity. You're going to be having all those files stored in this directory. So the next one is going to be the slash mount, slash mnt or mount. So and this contains all the mounted directories such as the file share, remote file share like SMB and the SMB and a lot more that I'll be showing you guys. So those details are stored in this directory. The next one will be the slash media, and that's very straightforward. And this is the directory that holds the removable media, such as USB devices and DVDs for those who still use DVDs, and Wi-Fi USB cards, and a lot more media that people use to mount to their Linux systems. So the next one is going to be the slash opt or options, and this directory is pretty much used for add-on software packages that you install into your Linux system, and it's also used when installing hacking tools from GitHub. This is frequently used by people who are into certified ethical hacking and all that. They will always go to GitHub and find a really good script, and for the Wi-Fi hacking or password cracking and so much more. And they'll be downloading all these tools, and they'll go directly to this directory. So the next one is going to be the slash TMP or temporary, and this pretty much is a folder that is used temporarily. So the contents will be deleted whenever you reboot the machine. So you have to know that when you install a tool in this directory, it will be deleted when you reboot your machine. So think about that before using this directory. And it's also highly used by certified ethical hackers during privilege escalation. Like once they have a low shell, as soon as they get their having a low shell is when a certified ethical hacker during his hacking activity gets its foot in the door. So that means he's not all the way in, but he's just right at the doorsteps. So that means they have a low level privilege. They will usually use this directory and tools installed in this directory to try to gain privilege escalation. That means having a lot more power and advancing deep into the machine that they're hacking. So the next one is going to be the slash USR or user, and this pretty much contains the subdirectories such as slash share, which contains a lot of tools for hacking. So such as Metasploit, and you have Nmap and a lot more. And slash USR, slash share, slash word list contains all the dictionaries that hackers use during brute forcing. So you will be learning a lot more about this path right here. So the next one is going to be the slash home, and this is very simple. This is just the home for the user. So like for me, if as soon as I log into my Kali Linux system and type pwd, which stands for present working directory or print working directory, you'll see it will just say that I'm a slash home slash executor, because that's my home directory. The next one is going to be slash root, and of course this is the root user's home directory. This is when in order for you to get to this level, you will have to put your password. As soon as you put your password, that means you're the highest level administrator. So you have root privileges. That means you can destroy a lot of things if you don't know what you're doing. The next is going to be the /srv, or which stands for server. And this pretty much has some data related to system server functionality, such as data for FTP servers, Apache servers, and all anything that is server that you activate and it's listening at a certain port. You will have all of them right here. So the next one is going to be /var, which stands for variable. And this directory pretty much has variable data for databases and logs and websites, and such as /var /www/html. So which contains files for Apache servers. Next one is going to be the /run, which stands for runtime. And this pretty much contains runtime system data, such as who is currently logged in, like all the users that are currently logged in. If you type the right command, it will list all. For example, an example is just a W. If you type a W, or if you type users, it will list all the users that are currently logged into the system. And that's what this /run is, where you have all those details. And the next directory we're going to learn about is going to be, I wanted to show you guys all the directories listed here in this image, so you can see for yourself. So you have /bin here, and these you have to be careful. This might not be a complete list of all the commands and binaries, if you like. And this is what I was saying, that think of an upside down tree where you have the root on top, and then you have the branches, and every branch leads to sub branches. This is an extensive list, but not a complete list. And this is it. Now we will be using a Kali Linux virtual machine to go over all these real time, so you can see how it looks like. Okay, let's if you have had a good look of this tree, we're gonna move to Kali Linux. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and log in. As you can see, I'm using the standard credentials. Which is Kali and Kali. Okay. So in case you're new and you're still learning, you just started learning about Linux recently, especially Kali Linux. This is the Kali Linux terminal right here. And let me just make sure to just pull it up. A fresh version, so I'm just going to increase it a little bit so you guys can have a better view. Okay, that should be enough. So, and we were just talking about the ls command, for example, and if you type it, so these basic commands /ls lists, listing items in a given directory. And we also have the option, as you can see, we can cd into downloads to see what we have there, and cd just means change directory into downloads, and we can just do that. And then we do ls and see what we have in downloads. And if you want to go back one folder, you just type cd // and you are currently back where you were, the home and Kali. So if I had signed in with my username of executor, it was going to be /home/executor. So we are currently the Kali user in here. and pwd stands for print working directory. Now, to see the commands that we were, to see the directories that we just went over during the presentation, we'll just have to, first, let's log in as root by typing sudo-i, put the password, and now we have root privileges. And there you go. We first talked about the bin directory, and as you can see, the bin directory is right here. So let's cd into the bin directory real quick. So we are currently in the bin directory, and if you want to know, you want to verify that, you just type print working directory or present working directory, and you will see we are in /bin. And we just type the ls to see all the binaries we have in there. And if I just make this a little bigger, you'll see these are all the binaries we have in that directory. So as time goes by, we'll be learning a lot more. We'll be diving into a lot more details in these binaries over here. But for now, we're just gonna stick to the basics, not to confuse you guys. So that was the /bin, and now let's go into a few more. First, we're just gonna get out of there, and then list all the directories again, and we can cd, for example, into the etc folder. Let's see what we have in the etc folder. cd/etc, and as you can see, we are currently in the etc folder. And if you type the ls command, and this is all the binaries you have in the etc, all the configuration files you have in the etc, and you can tell by the .conf extension, this directory mostly contains configuration files, the system configuration files. And as time goes by, we'll be going a little deeper into a lot of these configuration files over here. All right, so let's just cd / again to go back and see where can we go. So we have the lost and found. We can cd in there and see what we have in the cd lost and found. ls, and we have nothing because we haven't made any recovery of any file or any data. This is a freshly installed Kali Linux VM. Let's get out, and we can cd into the device directory. See what we have there. ls, and as you can see, we have a lot of device files right here. Let's / get out and cd, take a look into the sys directory. And as you can see, these are the folders we have, and it's mostly pertains to the kernel and the firmware, all that good stuff. And these are folders again, so that's what I was saying. Some it's like a branch, and some branches lead to sub branches. This is what I was talking about. So it's folders, and those folders lead to other folders. And so you know what, we can even cd into one of these folders and see what we have there. So we can cd into hypervisor, cd hyper. So, and one technique is, if you start typing a command, you can just hit the tab to just autocomplete, so you don't have to do a lot of typing. And we have nothing in the hypervisor folder. Let's get out one directory and cd into the kernel directory, kernel, and ls. See what we have there. So as you can see, we have a lot of details, a lot of folders and files about the kernel, the kernel that we are currently using. So that's last to get out of there. And if we do print working directory, we see we're still in the /sys, and if we cd // again, we're getting out. And I suggest you use a virtual machine if you really want to learn about the Kali Linux file system, which is very, very important for you to understand if you're starting to learn about Linux, or you want to do system administrator, or you want to do certified ethical hacker and all that good stuff. I suggest you just have run a Kali Linux virtual machine and just go through all these directories, poke around, learn about every file, and sometimes you can even cut a file, print the content of a file to just see what it looks like. For example, I just said cat, right? Cat just means to print a content of a file. So what we're gonna do, I'm just gonna demonstrate that real quick. And we are currently here. Let's cd into the etc, because that's where we have a lot of configuration files. And the file that I would like to cut is for you guys is the host configuration, hofconf. You know what? Let's do cat host, for example. And see, this command cat host printed the content of the file host, and the content of the file host is right here. And this is just the details about the local host IP address and all that good stuff. It's that simple. So practice. Go into every single directory in the tree, and if you find a file, just cut it, print it to see how the configuration file looks like, so you can already get familiar with it, because it's gonna help you a lot. It's gonna help sharpen your skills when it comes to understanding the Linux file system and where configuration files are stored. And you don't necessarily have to be an expert in every in all these directories, because you will only be using some of them a lot, but not all of them, because you won't really have a need to be an expert in every single directory in the Linux system. So, and what else? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and end this video. This was just to give you guys a quick overview and of the Linux file system. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them below. If there is something that you wanted me to explain that further and I didn't, leave a comment, and I can always assist you guys in understanding more. And what else? That will be it. Well, everybody, I would like to thank you very much for taking your time to watch this video. I hope it's very informative. I hope you actually enjoyed watching it. And please share, like, leave comments so that others may learn. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video.